This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and here we go. We're in the thick of it now. The E3 talk has truly begun with Microsoft's 2019 press conference. So, a lot was expected from this press conference, I think. A lot of people were awaiting some big news from Microsoft, in particular when it came to their next generation plans and their next platform. And the overall takeaway from this is that I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself for the foreseeable future when it comes to Microsoft and the Xbox brand. At least as far as console is concerned. As a brand, I think Xbox is doing very, very well. I think they're consolidating themselves and putting themselves in a position to last very, very long by the new innovations that they're doing. But when speaking specifically console gaming only, I feel like at the end of the last 2 or 3 conferences, including this one, I've walked away with less reason or no reason to want to buy an Xbox console, because they're placing their things in so many different areas on so many different platforms to where if you aren't already invested in the hardware ecosystem, you don't have to, because the things that they're doing with the brand eliminates the necessity to invest in that. So let's just start with the games first, and then we'll get to the whole hardware thing, and I'll kind of qualify my opinion as we go on. So they started out basically talking about games. It was mostly just the game thing, montage, to be quite honest. It's funny because I've heard many people complain about how they hate when they do the world premiere or the exclusive thing to games. And it's pretty much what the majority of the presentation is. You did get Phil Spencer do his grand presentation, which he's always a good speaker. I always like listening to the Phil Spencer speak. I just wish that I could totally buy into everything that he says, only because it goes back to what I was saying earlier, but again, we'll get to that. So, games they showed, and I took a lot of notes, but looking at this, I did not see a lot of like Xbox centric things that jumped out to me and say, okay, here we go. This is like, you know, Microsoft in their bag, so to speak. So they showed some exclusives first. They showed The Outer World, which is Obsidian's game that's coming on October 25th this year. And it's funny because I took notes with a friend and I kind of like was explaining to him everything that I saw. You know, it's going to help me along in this video very much so. But I was telling him it kind of has a Borderlands-ish / We Happy Few type of art style to it, with a little Rage Borderlandish type gameplay, it seems to me. But you know, that's Obsidian's offer now that they're under the Microsoft branch. I want to say The Outer World and the next game that's coming out were already announced for other platforms too, but I'm not sure. So please, if you know, let me know that in the comment section. They showed Bleeding Edge, which is a new game by Ninja Theory. They're going to be doing a technical beta on June 27th. We don't know when it's going to come out, but you guys can play that if you want to try it out. It kind of like, and I really hate saying this because I don't want to make people groan, because I don't think this is a knock on it, as I thought that concept wise the game, you know, looked like it was going to be good. Kind of has a Borderlandish type Overwatch feel to it, but not Borderlands, sorry, Battleborn. I mean, kind of reminded me for some reason like immediately of Battleborn first, and then you saw the character class. It's kind of like how Battleborn has the character classes that are different personalities via Overwatch and all that. You know, it kind of reminded me of that, and this art style reminded me of Borderlands / Battleborn 2. So, but if you want to sign up for the technical beta, it's June 27th. Go sign up for that and check it out and see how it plays. You know, could be pretty good. These arena games are pretty much the alternatives to, I guess, the Battle Royale arena games. So we'll see. I mean, neither one of these like stood out and jumped at me really much, but yeah. Sorry, and I'm responding to somebody who's asking me questions. I need to just like focus on this video. Sorry, because people are hitting me for information who don't watch this, so apologies, guys. But anyway, then they showed Ori. They will have that release February 11th, 2020. They showed a Minecraft Dungeons game that's coming out next year. Now, this is where one of the problems with the whole world premiere exclusive thing that Microsoft does. When they debut these games, in some of these games that are, you think that might be exclusive, then they turn out not to be, because PlayStation actually retweeted that they will be getting this game too in the spring of 2020. So it looks like it's kind of a dungeon crawl type Minecraft game. I guess eventually that studio had to come up with something else. They've been under Microsoft fold for a few years now, and they have pretty much done nothing but work on the original Minecraft. So it's good to see them actually come with a different take, so to speak. Then they showed a Blair Witch game, which weirded me out, but it was saved by the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 was shown. We got a release date. It's April 16th, 2020. Apparently Keanu Reeves is in there. So okay, cool. I'm with it. Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. The more Keanu Reeves that we can see on our screen, the better, right? Everybody loves John Wick. They announced Battletoads finally. They showed a little gameplay footage. It looks like it's more of a like animated style art. So cool. Honestly, people are excited for Battletoads. That's cool. I still don't understand why, because, you know, going back into the day when I had an NES and I played Battletoads, I always remember it as one of the most infuriating games. Like, concept-wise, the characters and all that, it seemed pretty cool, but playing that game, you just wanted to, like, fucking break your controller and, like, smash that fucking cartridge, because it's just so ridiculously, like, hard for no reason. It's not even that it's difficult. It's just, I'm sorry, it's super shitty game design looking back. Like, yeah, most games we can say that from back in the day, but even compared to games of its time, it is horribly made. But people want it. They love those characters. The nostalgia mask fades over them. Cool. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a fun game. I hope they don't try to recreate the vibe of the old games and actually try to make a really well functioning, enjoyable gaming experience. Please do that for me. You do that, I will play it, because like I said, concept wise, it's always been a cool idea of these mock turtle characters running around in this action adventure game, but it was not a good game. I'm sorry. Then they moved on to some Xbox Game Pass news. So basically, Xbox Game Pass, of course, we've heard that it's going to PC. They're creating an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Pass, which if you buy now, you can get it for $1 for this month, so you can try it out. It's pretty much going to combine Xbox Gold and Xbox Live under that for $15 a month. You also get the games that you would get with Xbox Gold for games. You'll get access to the Xbox Game Pass, and you'll also get some early access to games that are going to have early access before launch, such as one that we'll talk about later. And it's also going to be available on PC as well. So it'll cover console and PC. So if you have an Xbox Live account and you invest in this, it'll be fine if for your console, and it'll be fine for PC. So you can use it on all Microsoft gaming platforms, which I thought was a pretty cool and really, really good deal for people, especially if you just want to play the exclusive, but you don't want to buy an Xbox One or the next console. You're going to be able to get these games on PC, and if you have the PC to run it, boom, you're in there. So that's a pretty cool thing that they put together. Also, the Master Chief Collection is coming to it. They're going to have an open beta today for the PC version of it. So if you want to try it out, you can go ahead and sign up now. Do it for that $1 and then get into the open beta for the PC so you can try it out and see how it works. That's pretty much how I believe they're going to have their gaming platform now, since they're not really investing in games for Windows. I think this is going to become their gaming platform / client for PC. You also get games like Metro Exodus will be on there. What was it? Batman Arkham Knight is going to be on there. There was another game that they announced. It was a couple of more games that they announced that are recent. Metro Exodus, Arkham Knight, and for some reason I blanked on the other games, but I will put a link to the description of this article about the games that they will have up there now. Then they moved on to showing some more new and exclusive things, such as the rebirth of Flight Simulator for console and PC. Yes, you'll be able to play Flight Simulator again, which for all those old heads who remember old Microsoft Game Studios, it was one of their staple games, just as Age of Empires, which they're bringing back out Age of Empires 2 as the definitive edition and putting it on their platforms. Kind of a weird choice instead of just making another Age of Empires, and also odd that they decided not to do just like an Age of Empires collection or to skip over 3. I guess 3 probably wasn't that I guess well received. I actually like 3 with the modernization of the gameplay, being in more current times. But I think everybody prefers to play as the ancient civilizations and things like that. And maybe they didn't want to also put out what was it called? The one with the gods and things like that, like the Greek gods and all that. They had that one too. So I guess they wanted to skip over those more recent ones and just go back to the classic one that everybody kind of like revered, which Age of Empires 2. I played the shit out of that game on PC back in the day. Then they announced that they acquired Double Fine Studios and showed a trailer for Psychonauts 2, which I believe again is another game that's going to be on multiple platforms, because it was already in development and announced before they acquired Double Fine. Kind of a weird pull to me, because while for people like me, especially who played PC gaming a lot back in the 90s and such, Double Fine is kind of a revered name because Tim Schafer, the things that he's done in his career. But I can't think of anything that they've done in recent times that is that significant and stands out that heavily to people. Broken Age, maybe, but otherwise, yeah. It's an interesting poll. I'm curious to see what they're gonna actually do with them. Although, if it goes to my whole premise of them shifting over to a game publisher more than anything and ditching hardware, it serves them to have a really good studio like them to go along with the other good studios that they have acquired. Then we started to get to some of the more interesting things. They showed Gears 5. So Gears 5 is coming September 10th. And I say showed Gears 5 kind of loosely, because it was mostly just a trailer for a new co-op game mode called Escape. They didn't show anything revolving around the single player aspects of it or give any hint to the story. But September 10th is when it's coming out. You'll be able to play a mode called Escape, which is a 3-person co-op kind of horde-ish type game where instead of like you just being in an arena and battling off the horde and waves, you kind of have this disease or virus, it looks like. And again, I'm speculating because this is how the trailer laid itself out. You set off a device to release this gas to murder the horde, and you got to get the fuck out of there before it catches up to you and kills you. And you got to run through the horde to escape these areas, and you're going from area to area, clearing them to get out, to get to the door and get out, and so you can escape the whole ordeal. They're gonna have Xavier Woods, AJ Styles, and Tyler Breeze play with people, so we'll get some gameplay probably on screen, but didn't get any today at all. And there's an expansion pack for people who pre-ordered that's going to feature the Terminator. Why? I don't know, but it's a tie-in, I guess, for promotion for Terminator Dark Fate, the new Terminator movie that's coming out. So okay, release date for Dying Light, spring 20. Well, release window I should say, spring 20. Showed a new trailer for that. There is no Forza coming this year, but you will get a Forza expansion pack which will legalize it. You get Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions. It is out this week. Also a new State of Decay expansion, which is dropping as of today. Phantasy Star 2 Online is coming first to Xbox, including something else called Crossfire X, which I've never heard of. I thought it was the fucking AMD technology, which I was like, okay, why are they announcing this? But they were talking about a game. But sure. They announced new Borderlands Handsome Jack Collection expansion. I don't think they qualified whether it was for Borderlands 2 or the pre-sequel, but there is a new expansion that's out today that they showed along with the, well, they didn't show, but they announced along with the trailer for Borderlands 3. They showed a trailer for George R.R. Martin's game that he's working on called Elden Rings. Don't hold your breath, because if it's anything like his books, you'll never finish that story and you won't see that shit for years and years and years. It will probably not even have anything to put the game on. Gaming might just disappear completely by the time he finishes that shit. Then they kind of got to the next gen thing, which a lot of people were waiting. Hour and 15 minutes into this whole thing. Now, during this whole time, they showed a ton of like trailers and a ton of stuff in the montage for Game Pass, where they show all these games. They said that they were going to have 34 games coming that's launching on Game Pass, 14 exclusives, and they were going to show you 60 games overall. A lot of it was like smaller indie things, which look good for both launch material for Game Pass, as well as just the stuff that they showed overall. And that was like pretty much the bulk of the show. Then they get to the last 10 minutes or so, and they decide, let's talk about the next generation. They spent actually more time talking about Project xCloud, which is their streaming game platform that they're working on. They're basically going to take your current Xbox Ones and turn them into cloud streaming servers for free, so you can utilize them as streaming platforms for the games that you have, so you can stream them to other devices that are compatible. We know that Xbox Live is being put on like cell phones and other devices like your Switch, so I'm assuming it's going to work with Switch. Maybe they didn't say, but being that one of the devices, maybe it'll work that way, who knows. But pretty much they're going to let you do it on any place that you can get Xbox Live at that's not the console. Okay, cool. We all know Google and Stadia and Apple Plus are the, like, you know, elephants in the room that are staring down these consoles that are, you know, changing, and that's trying to change and shift the way that we game and trying to take control of the game market. So of course Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo is going to have to concern themselves with that. And Microsoft, having the Azure platform, definitely has a leg up on their competition, and they're initializing that right off the bat. Also, one thing I forgot before I go deeper into this, they did announce a new Xbox Elite controller, and Glory be, it's going to be Bluetooth and USB compatible, so it will use USB-C to plug into, and it will also be Bluetooth compatible. So, wow, no more RF, maybe? Question mark. I am sure it's still gonna have RF because of the way that the current systems are established, and they're gonna need to connect to those. But it's nice to see that, like, people like me who have a Bluetooth adapter on my PC, if I want to get an Elite controller and I want to game on PC with one, I don't have to do so with any kind of special dongles or anything, or I could just plug in through the USB and things like that. So that's cool, and it has some enhanced features, some new tweaks to the way that you can modify it and all that. So it's $180, and it's coming out, I believe they said November 11th, I want to say was the date. Don't quote me on that, but anyway, going back to the whole cloud thing, the console, they spent a lot of time talking about that and building up the cloud, saying how they're trying to make this, you know, as easy for people to play and to have as many people play games and blah 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 blah. And then Phil Spencer kind of went on a spiel like, we're dedicated to the hardware. That's why our console is going to be a streaming device as well. You know, you can do it through a new console as well. And then he's let them run a little montage of the creators of the new Xbox talking about how revolutionary it's going to be, how powerful it's going to be. Footage of them working happily on things and just exclaiming how dope it is, showing people like put parts onto it with a soldering iron and all that. No name for the console. It's still Project Scarlet, but we do know that it will be available next year during the holiday season, so there is that. And then they finished off the show with the Halo trailer, because the next Halo is going to be available at launch with this console. It was basically just a CGI story trailer. You didn't really see anything. You saw Master Chief get rescued from outer space and revived, and you saw like the Halo ring broken, and that was about it. Nothing like really big revealed. Basically, the two biggest games that they could have showcased, they didn't really do much showcasing on. They actually did more to show gameplay for Gears Funko Pop game than they did for Gears 5, so that was kind of disappointing. Now, overall, as I was saying in the beginning, this show did nothing to inspire me to want to invest in a Microsoft console. They kind of dropped the ball on like announcing big news for the next gen console, but they did solidify the fact that, yo, if you want to play their games, especially if you don't want to buy their games, just fucking create an Xbox Live account, get that Game Pass Ultimate, and, you know, use that. Buy it the months that you see something that you want to play come out, or you can just keep it, you know, year round, because there'll probably be some more of their exclusives coming that you want to play. I know content creators gonna definitely invest in this, because shit, they don't have to go out and buy a fucking game. They can just get this every month and then download it to their monster PCs and stream it. Fuck yeah. You know, you get Halo, you get Gears. The games that I mentioned, like, what is it? Outer Worlds. You know, they showed another game called Wasteland that you can get. Bleeding Edge, Ori, the Minecraft game. I believe Cyberpunk 2077 was announced to be on there too, and a couple of other like third-party games were going to be available on there. So it's like, yeah, I would just invest in the $15 if I have a good enough PC, because that PC's not going to go anywhere, and I don't have to worry about, you know, falling behind, because it's easily upgraded, and I don't have to worry about buying a new system to easily upgrade it either. I just get a really good processor, really good, you know, graphics card, and, you know, boom. I pay for this. I don't have to get an Xbox One. And most people who play games on PC already have that. So a lot of people are already ahead of the curve on that. It's just investing in this thing that they just started doing. So yeah, they really did nothing to excite me at least, for the next generation of Xbox. It seems like the next generation for Xbox is to move forward on making sure that they establish themselves in different areas so that if and when they don't feel the need to put out a piece of hardware, they can. I think the hardware right now just seems more lip service for their oldest fans, for people who are very, very dedicated to the brand, and who are very, very loyal. But it's funny because a friend of mine I was talking to about this, they even calls the like pass a Halo pass, because now you can get every Halo game out on that thing. But it's like, yeah, it's just for the console itself is going to be for the loyalists. For the loyalists and the tech junkies. But if you're someone who just likes to play games and you have a really like well put together PC, you're going to just stick to the PC. They didn't really put out any exclusive content that makes you say, oh, I have to get this, because again, anything that they're developing goes automatically to this Game Pass. So I get the Game Pass, I get all of their quote unquote exclusives on my PC. It's not like with Sony or Nintendo where I have to get a Switch if I want to play Super Mario Odyssey. I have to get a PlayStation if I want to play The Last of Us 2. I have to get a Switch if I want to play any Zelda games, Metroid games, Pokemon games. And, I have to invest in their like hardware ecosystem to play their games. Same thing with Sony, Uncharted, and like I said, The Last of Us, all of that stuff. The new Kojima game. I have to get their hardware in order to be able to play. So there is incentive and reason, because they're making games attractive enough that only can be played on their platform. Microsoft's not doing that, and so it's kind of a catch-22. It's like, it's cool, I get it. Yes, it sounds very, very nice and fuzzy to say like we're just like committed to giving people the opportunity to play games on any platform, and we just want to share experiences, cross-play, all that. Great message, but from a business standpoint, it's kind of strange. And even from a consumer standpoint, it's strange to me that you are trying to sell me a device that I don't necessarily need in order to take advantage of what it's made for. It's that console is kind of meaningless. I will say this, sure, again, the loyalists, the tech junkies, and of course those people who don't feel comfortable investing in PCs, because there's still people out there who thinks that getting on the PC and gaming is like super hard. Like, you don't even have to use a keyboard and mouse to game. Again, they create controllers that are PC compatible. Microsoft does. So even if you are an Xbox fan and you're leery about PC, guess what? That new Elite controller, that's going to be PC compatible. Your Xbox One current controller is PC compatible. Xbox 360 controller was PC compatible. I have an Xbox 360 PC controller, and I love that thing. It's a really good controller. You don't need the box to be involved. I mean, you need it even less now than you ever have. So I don't know. And as I've said, I always look at it as, hey, this is just Microsoft preparing for the exit strategy hardware wise. And time will tell if that's going to be true. But yeah, as far as the show is concerned, it was okay. Again, got to see some cool stuff. They kind of missed me with that whole, we got the largest like showcase of games ever in this, or in the largest showcase of game, this E3. It's like, well, you're the only major like platform beyond the PC gaming show, which really isn't a platform thing. It's kind of run by AMD. So it's kind of more of like the hardware company trying to push their agenda more than them trying to push the platform of PC. When you think about it, it's like veiled under the guise of this is for PC gamers, when this is basically for people who want to know what the hell you're gonna do tech wise as AMD, and more for you selling your tech. Let's be honest, but yeah, you're the biggest name with the hat and the ring, because your biggest competition, Nintendo and Sony, they're not there. So I felt like this should have been a much more impressive presentation. Again, it was a good presentation. I'm not saying it was bad. It was good for what it was, but it didn't knock anything out the park. It didn't make the types of impressions I think that they would have liked to have made, as far as they're selling their brand. So if I had to give it like a personal grade, I say B-, because I did enjoy some of the content. C+ or B- would be my grade for it. But yeah, it was okay. A little bit longer than 2 They have a problem with the time limit. That hour and a half feels longer than it should feel for some reason. Don't ask me why. But yeah, decent show. Anyway, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll hit you later. This your boy Black Megas, and I'm out. Deuces.